Welcome to Art Ladders, The Creative Climb with Valerie and Armin Mersman. This podcast tells stories about art. It is for artists and art lovers. I'm Val, and I have opinions about art. Armin has a few of his own.
And sometimes we even agree.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 107. We have kind of a different way of doing things today, don't we, Armin?
Yes, we do. We are attempting to do a little bit of visual stuff, right? We're doing our podcast, and explain that a little bit, Val. You've been working hard on this.
I sure will. So this is our episode about ArtPrize 2025. We're going to feature a lot of artists here in just a minute, but we decided that we would have our audio podcast, which you all are familiar with. But today we're also going to be putting a video up on YouTube that you can go watch. And that way you'll be seeing the images that we're talking about. So what Armin and I are going to do today is we're going to try to be as descriptive as we can in case you never do get to the YouTube. That's not a big deal.
Right.
We'll just carry on. You know, it's all about art. And so we'll use our words, right, Armin?
Oh, this kind of started a long time ago, didn't it, Val? When ArtPrize was first going on.
Oh, yeah.
We were invited to we were both working at the Midland Center for the Arts, and they came up with this thing called He Said, She Said.
Yes.
And we would talk about the artwork that we chose, just like we're doing now.
Uh-huh.
And I think it was it a slide thing? No, it couldn't have been a slide thing.
It was a PowerPoint, just like we're doing, except
Okay.
it was projected up on a big screen, and
Right.
it was in the lounge, and everybody had, fun snacks and drinks, and it was really fun.
I think people thought we would argue a lot more.
We did argue a little
Didn't we?
bit, but it didn't get out of hand.
No.
And today it won't get out of hand. Right? Honestly.
No, I can't promise that.
Oh,
I don't
darn.
I don't know what you've chosen, so.
Okay. Yeah, that's true. We've been doing ArtPrize for quite a while. And I remember in 2009, the very first year of ArtPrize, I had to talk you into doing it. You thought it was the craziest thing you'd ever heard of. And I said, no, we have to do this.
Right. No, I didn't want to do it. I didn't think there would anything possible with that kind of prize money. And yeah, I was proved wrong.
Yeah, it really took off. It's still going. It's a big boon for the Grand Rapids area. It's been copied in other parts of the United States as well. But I still think ArtPrize is the best one that really, really dug in and did it. I mean, what are we? 2009 to 25.
For those who do not know what ArtPrize is that are listening,
Yeah.
It's in Grand Rapids, Michigan, and the whole city turns into a gallery.
Right.
Each store, there are exceptions, of course, but each store, restaurant, museums, galleries will show work that was curated by their staff. You apply on the ArtPrize.
Yeah, it's kind of like the dating game of art.
Right.
You have to click with the venue.
And so once you get in that venue and you're all set, then at some point you bring your work down there and they open it up and people can vote. And they go all over the place and they look at art and they vote. Now, we did it for 10 years.
Right.
And this is the first time we're doing it again.
That's true. I think that is true.
Yeah, so we haven't done it in 4 years, COVID and all that stuff. I don't know if it went.
It's our comeback tour.
Right. And so it is that money. Now, I don't know exactly how it's to age now, but in the beginning it was $250,000 for first prize, I think.
I read that it's over 600,000 in prizes. I don't know if that's all money prizes or, things like that, but wow.
It's a lot of money, but now it's evened out more. There's still a big prize there.
Yeah. So, it's one of those things, just like anything via social media or it's always changing. The change is good. Change every time there's a new little twist to it, new little rule to it, but it's to keep it alive and active. It's all for the best and
Yeah.
hopefully the best.
I do
So,
I do have one beef with them.
oh no, here we go.
Here's a go. Well, I don't know when it was now. I was 4 years, 5 years into it, and I had won third prize with a drawing called Gabriella. And the
Yeah,
year
yeah.
before that third prize got $50,000. The year I won it, third prize got nothing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, those rules change. They sure
So
do.
I'm
Oh, tell me a happy memory you have. Is that
mm,
possible? I mean, I know you're a happy guy, right?
yeah, I'm laughing every day. There's a lot of happy memories there, just seeing art and walking around, talking to people. I know one of the things that you do different in Art Prize and in the other show is you stand around by your work a lot, especially once it gets to the
Yeah.
top 100. And you talk to all kinds of great people and you laugh together. It's a joyous affair. I have mostly good memories from Art Prize. So
Hmm.
even that year, it was,
Oh, it was exciting.
I gave away 65,000 cards to people
Postcards.
and signed them and all that stuff. It's my 15 minutes of fame. So,
Ah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah.
I really, really think a happy memory for me was the very first year. There were so many things spontaneous that happened that year. One was one of the entries was the launching of paper airplanes off the
Oh,
buildings.
yeah.
Could have been off the Amway Grand for all I know, but all these paper airplanes just flew all over. That was a thrill. Another thrill was when that year I was in the Amway Grand. I was collaborating with a harpist, Jackie Henniger, and like I said, a dating game, we actually cold called on Amway Grand and asked for the manager. And
That's
he
right.
talked with us and he gave us a tour and he said, what would work for you? And we said, well, this room right here would work for us. It was all upstairs that year. And
Hmm.
it was this beautiful room. And then he said, and what color would you like this room painted? Because we were bringing in an antique harp and we
Yeah.
picked this gorgeous mossy green. I mean, who does that? It was just wonderful. So it's been some good years.
Yeah, it was real good years. We'd stay there sometimes. We'd travel back and forth, which is 2.5 hours to get there, find parking and all that. So,
Right.
we did all kinds of stuff. We'd get up early in the morning or we'd stay overnight. And a couple times we stayed with friends down there. And it was just, to us, it was like our yearly vacation, I think,
Hmm.
to go to
Hmm.
ArtPrize. You started thinking about ArtPrize not in September, but in January already. You would
Hmm.
start thinking about how would this do at ArtPrize? Um, that was one of the things that concerned me a little bit, to be honest with you, but I managed to do what I wanted to do, and it worked at ArtPrize as well.
Armin, I have to ask you something. And folks, this is a technical question right now as we're recording this. It seems to be a touch of a delay. Are you seeing that?
Yes, I am.
Do we have anything else streaming around us that could be slowing this down?
No, I don't know if this will record like that. I don't see it on my end. I see it on your end. There's a little bit of a delay. Do you see it on my end?
Yeah, I
Maybe
do.
it's just because we're sitting in two different parts of the room. I mean, the house.
Yeah,
Uh,
this technology, but
but I don't, it's not like we're, super high tech and we have a film crew here. So just think of us as ventriloquists.
that's right.
Yeah. It's
Go
only
with
a
the
tiny delay.
flow.
Yeah.
Go with the flow. So,
So
what do you
warts and
think?
all, here we are,
Here we
right?
are. How about I share the screen
That would be lovely.
and we'll each do our picks.
Hmm.
Get into it. Here we go. So let's get this screen up here. And you folks out there listening, I'm just doing my thing like I do in all my classes, where I'm going to start a PowerPoint and Armin's going to let me know that it's working.
There
And
it
is it
is.
working? All right.
Right.
So it is. He said,
Now,
she said, Art
why
Prize.
are we, tell them why we're wearing berets.
Okay. So the berets. Yes. We are actually on October 11th heading on a cruise on the Seine in Paris down to Le Havre. And we are the artist, and we will be teaching art lessons on that cruise. It's through Creative 360. That's a nonprofit in Midland, Michigan. And it's going to be a blast, right?
That's right. That's right.
So we're looking forward to that very much. So Armin dressed us up in French clothing today for this. So
Right. Via via iconography, by the way.
via iPhoneography, that's right. So here we go. Here is the first one I picked, and I'm going to visually describe this for anybody listening right now. It's called A Bold Entrance. It's by Ginger Creasy. Hope I'm pronouncing that right. It is a two-dimensional work, and it's hanging at Big B Coffee in Grand Rapids. So beautiful architectural rendering of the side of a building, and it's in deep golds and deep, deep blues, very reminiscent of a Van Gogh painting. Very, very saturated color, which I'm loving right now.
Hmm.
And she was inspired by Paris, France. So it really touched a nerve with me because that's where we're heading. But on another note, I really love shapes in my work and diagonals. This particular work has heavy duty diagonals and line work and just beautiful colors. She was trained as a graphic artist, so it does have a very graphic feel. Now, you listeners out there can go to artprize.org, and their search is a little different where you look for the name of the work instead of the name of the title. So if you go there
Name of the artist, you mean?
for, yeah, instead of the name of the artist.
Right.
So you go there and check out A Bold Entrance and
Right. This
see
gi-
if you agree with me,
this
Armin.
gives you a lot more information. A lot of times, in their artist statement, and some people don't have any. So, I have not seen this piece. Well, I saw it, but I didn't spend any time with it. And I love the cool and warm colors together. They really dance.
Mhm.
And I like that almost brushy look work in the front of the piece. But when you look at the architecture, it's much smoother and aligned.
Yes. You know, and I love that. I recently listened to another podcast, and Mark Eanes was the guest. In fact, it was the Learn to Paint podcast, which is an excellent podcast that we've actually interviewed the host here. But anyway, he was talking about just living with a work for a while or standing in front of a work for a while, and that's kind of what we're doing right now. Is we're
Right.
just enjoying it, and when you if you're watching the video, you'll see it immediately. But if you're not, you can go find it.
We had thousands of, I don't know how many pieces there were. It seemed like thousands.
I think it
But
was around 1,100 pieces of art that we just
we looked at
rolled
each one
through.
of them and we picked our,
And there's,
are they our
yeah,
10 favorites? Would you call it that?
I would say they were the 10 that struck us,
Yeah.
that we remembered. And memories can come from lots of things. Maybe we had met the person. Maybe
Hmm.
we were just blown away by the look in this case.
Yeah.
So there's lots of different reasons that things catch our eyes.
Hmm.
But it's a good exercise to curate your art prize show. I highly recommend it.
And this is at Bigsby Coffee.
Yes, yes.
You can see that on there, but you listeners don't know. So it's Bigsby Coffee, Grand Rapids. Nice
There you go.
choice.
Yeah, thank you. And
Uh, what
here we
goes
go.
what goes around, and this is by Bruce Halwerda. I think that's how
Oh,
you
where
pronounce
da?
it, right?
I think
And
so.
Bruce and I are really no strangers, but when I looked at that, I didn't realize who did it until
I
I
can see
chose it,
why.
and I knew exactly who did it. Bruce actually, 25 years ago or more, taught at the Center for the Arts for a little while, and he's really made a big name for himself with this type of art. Now, most of the things I'm used to is painting. And
Right, me
I
too.
think this is a sculpture, an assemblage sculpture.
Hmm.
And he has a great imagination. The way one thing flows into the other, it's different worldly. It's surreal, and it also has a touch of fairy tale into it. He makes these creations like balloons that are zeppelins that are I don't know how is it steampunk a bit? I think so, but it goes beyond steampunk in my mind. But I think this piece, the sculpture, is just a whimsical piece, and the way he chose colors, he's not going all over the place. He's using earth tones a lot, and there's an orange propeller in it, and he uses a little bit of a yellow on the neck of this creature, and there's somebody driving it, a king it looks like driving this piece. So yeah, I know a lot of his work in the past, and I've always been a big fan of his. But this is just a wonderful piece right here.
It really is. And I did study this one as well, Armin. And to describe it, it's like a boat with
Hmm.
machines all piled up on top of each other. The king's on top. There's a fish head, looks like leading the way.
Hmm.
And it has a motor, so I'm sure there's some activity that goes on with it. But I was reading where Bruce is now combining his characters, which his paintings always had these characters in
Hmm.
them. He's just doing the whole 9 yards now, the paintings and the sculpture. I think it's a great fit for him.
And yes, it is. And it's at the DeVos place,
Yes, yes,
Grand
the
Rapids.
big convention center. In fact, several of our picks are in that venue. So that's a not to be missed venue. All right. This is a beautiful piece, and it's called Pray for Peace. How timely. And it is by an artist that I know very well, Marty Lytle Lametti. And she is a fiber artist. And this is a fiber piece. It's quite large. It's 3 pieces that hang together. She was inspired by the colors of the flag of Ukraine and also the mission of peace and the look of stained glass windows in churches. So it's very symbolic. It's very geometric. She works with fiber and she actually uses a comb. She says that she paints with fibers. So she's using a comb to kind of work out all the tangles, I'm going to use for lack of a better word, of the wool. And then it's almost a felting process where she paints with the felting, the needles going up and down, which then reconnect all the fibers together. So the colors in this are a beautiful, beautiful turquoise blue. If any of you folks know the color manganese blue, it's here, it's right here. And also, there is some beautiful gold fibers and the creamy whites, and then just this almost architectural, yes, like stained glass windows.
Hmm.
Isn't this beautiful, Armin?
It's a triptych, am I correct?
Yes, it is a triptych.
Right. I love the use of the circles that peer back on the side panels a little bit, and they're up in front in the larger piece. There's great movement that comes out at you in here, and great use of color in this. I,
Right.
I like it quite a bit. Now, when I see these on the computer, I always want to say, I'd like to see this in person, and hopefully we
Yes.
will get a chance to do so. But because of this Paris trip, it gives us a little less time than we usually would have. But I think this is a wonderful piece, and it's pray for peace, and I think some of us have discussed our feelings about these days in different
Yes.
ways. No bad
Well,
ways, just different ways.
this is a perfect example of, artists. We deal with most artists, not all artists, deal with beautiful things. That's what we do. We make beautiful things. But this is the way that you can still make beautiful things and also have a voice. It's a great combination. So, and you mentioned that this was a triptych, but I believe in the Monroe Community Church, it may be hanging in separate spots, and that's
Okay.
fine too.
Yeah.
That's fine too, because it is flexible that way. And yeah, Monroe Community Church and a
No,
couple of
no,
our selections are from that church.
the triptych comes from altar pieces. So,
Oh,
uh,
yeah,
community church, Monroe, it's perfect. So,
that's right. Oh, I like this one. This is your pick, Armin,
yes, it is.
and I like it too.
Stellar Remnants, and it's Margaret Vega. And I just love work like this, period. Now she's doing an amazing job. It's abstract, yet it reminds of certain things. It's kind of a taupe. Is that the right color you'd say this is?
Well, almost an alabaster with some taupe in the middle ground. The taupe would be the darkest value.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, Titan buff is another beautiful color
Hmm.
involved here. Neutral,
Uh, it,
very
it's
neutral.
it's a series of squares, and it's the same amount of squares that are on a chessboard, I believe.
Oh,
Okay.
I think you're right.
Yes, and then there's these stones, fossil stones, that I actually use these kind of stones for drawing,
Mm-hmm.
for to get texture from, and they're all lined up in one row. It's fourth row in, and they're all lined up within those squares.
Yes.
And it seems like a simple thing. These are never simple things. These are all a lifetime of working and thinking till you can get to this, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It's lush in color. I'm not a huge colorist. And then my next one will disprove that. But I'm not a large colorist for instance. I like these earth tones. And there's a peacefulness to this and lining up of this that I'd rather like. And the textures are wonderful in here.
Yeah, and that's funny that you mentioned that this is a colorist style of painting, but it's very subtle. I mean, to the bystander, I would go by and I would call this a white painting,
Yes, yes.
but
Well, I
there's
don't mean it in
so
color.
many shades
I don't know
of
if I meant
white.
colorist in exploring color like that. It's
Uh-huh.
very, every little mark on that has a small amount of color
Yes, it
that
does.
excites me in a very subtle way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to be beaten over the head by color all the time.
Right. It's neutral, but not, there's pale blues and there's beautiful grays and browns and all subdued. And I don't know, Agnes Martin, the artist Agnes Martin's work comes to mind because it's very much a grid composition
Yes.
and very organized, very controlled. I love it. I
I
love it.
mean, would you call this an abstract piece?
I would call this an abstract piece for sure. Yes. Stellar remnants.
But you're always you're always looking for a narrative in this. What could they mean? What could those stones,
Right.
what can they represent? And I think that every viewer has their own truth to that.
Hmm.
You know, I don't think Margaret says, well, this is what it's supposed to be, but I don't know Margaret,
Right.
this,
It'd be
but
it'd be great to hear from her, wouldn't
this
it?
is, it's an amazing, it's an amazing piece. I love this piece.
Hmm. Wonderful. All right, the forest.
Now
Okay.
we're getting to some color.
Now we've got color. We're back to color. This is my pick. This is bizarre. This thing is huge. I shouldn't say thing. This painting is huge. And Robert Vanderzee, I had a chance to meet him 2 years ago at a retreat at Oxbow Art Center over there on the other side on Lake Michigan. This is called The Forest, and it is all of these creatures. This is just one panel. And I'm going to guess because for some reason the measurements are not on these descriptions when you start reading them, but it's got to be at least 24 foot long.
Well,
If you go to, yeah,
you'll see other images of it, of the how it's installed on there with some people.
yes, when you go to the artprize.org site and you look up the forest, you're going to see installation shots. Of course, it's over at DeVos Place, which is the big convention center. They have those huge walls. I can't think of any other venue that would accommodate this type of piece. It's a showstopper.
Now,
And
now,
oh
I have a
boy,
question for you on size.
yeah.
Go big or go home. Do you think Art Prize is that?
I think that it used to be like that, but I think now a full range of sizes
Better.
are answered. But
Well, I don't think
boy,
people are used to seeing something of that scale. And when they walk in a room and it's filled with one big image,
uh-huh,
they are overwhelmed, not overwhelmed. They're in awe, I should
in
say,
awe,
of that.
yes.
And I understand that. Um,
Well, I've been following him on Instagram, of course, and so he'll put up videos of the crowds going by, and it's pretty amazing.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
quite the deal. It really is.
Well,
Congratulations, Robert. This is something
I
else.
love the surrealism of it and the symbolism of this.
Oh, look at the foreground, Armin, with those tiny. It looks like cowboys and Indians in miniature in the
And the
foreground.
soldiers, and
Yes, there's
uh,
so much going on.
you
There's
have,
skeletons in the trees. There's hibiscus flowers.
well,
It's
and who
wild.
doesn't have a few skeleton in the trees, huh?
Yeah, skeleton in the trees. Looks
Yeah.
like pelican
So
skeletons.
wonderful work.
It really is. Now, Robert lives in the Big Rapids area, and he has a retreat. He was living out east, but he came back to Michigan a few years ago, and he has a retreat out there called Lynx Run, and it's filled. I haven't been there, but I believe he's starting to do artist retreats. So that's something to keep an eye out on. And I'm sure his social media will keep you up to date with that. But Links Run, it's a series of cabins and studio and filled with antiques. It's just as eclectic as this particular painting,
Mm.
um, which is it almost has a medieval feel, doesn't it?
Does a little bit. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting a narrative there, but I'm not going to try to explain that narrative because
Right.
um,
Yeah. I mean, there's test tubes, there's everything in here. So check it out. All right, Armin, you're up next.
Morgan, would you say that's
Morgan.
Morgan?
Hmm.
This is a guitar.
That's a guitar.
It's a
You love
guitar.
guitars.
And well, that's not why I chose it though.
Okay.
The guitar is made by Blake Merkel. It's at the
Yes.
Ford Art Museum, which is a wonderful place to show. I've showed there too. And I thought about this and looked at it and I said, craftsmanship is still an important part of art.
Yes, it
And
is.
it's one of the things that's going by the wayside, I think. We get everything instantly, it's just such a world like that to spend all these hours on one guitar and creating this. I haven't heard it, and you don't want to hear it from me either, but but
Right.
I just love that kind of craftsmanship, that the way this it has these warm oranges. It's a different kind of shape of a guitar. Uh, the stock is.
Hmm.
And I saw a photo of it in the Ford Museum. It's on a stanchion and plexiglass all around it. And I just am in awe of this man's craftsmanship. And does art have to have good craftsmanship? No, there isn't always and never. This has.
Hmm.
That's why I chose it. I just love the craftsmanship of this.
It's
And I
beautiful.
think that can be enough. And in this case, it is.
And for me, as growing up with rock and roll and all of that, it's one of those types of guitars for me. Electric guitar. It has that beautiful amber color, vignetted with that deep dark black. Gorgeous finish on it. And then all of the
It's what
different
they call a
mechanisms.
sunshine finish on a guitar.
Oh, it's gorgeous. And I love the neck of it on the back has
Oh,
another
it's
spot
beautiful.
of that amber. Amazing. Now I'm going to give a shout out to our sponsor, and that's Art. I'm sorry, that's Golden Apple Residency out there in Down East Maine. So they're taking applications for 2027 at goldenapplestudio.com. We went out there this summer, had a wonderful time, accomplished a lot of work, came back with each of us a new body of work. In for all of you out there in the listening world, take a look at their website, you'll see the quaint red cottages. That's where we stayed. And then there's a series of studios just down the path, beautiful, well-lit path. The scenery, pine trees, the Ripley Cove in front of us, the lobster boats going out every morning. And then we'd all gather down there with an umbrella table and have our lunches and breakfast, and then go upstairs for wonderful dinners and conversation at night. It is a just a wonderful situation for artists needing time away, time to create, time to just rest. It's a nurturing environment. The artist and director, Shelley Stevens, makes sure that you are definitely nourished and ready to go back to your studios, fully refreshed.
Yeah.
So,
It's
Armin, didn't
it's
we have a
other
great time?
it's otherworldly.
It is,
It's beautiful. Even when it's raining, it's beautiful there.
even when it's raining. It's
Doesn't matter
just,
what the weather's like.
that's right.
Um, I spend a lot of time in my studio working on both realism, realism and abstraction. I would
Yes,
day and a half basically. And I got a lot done. Now, this is my second time. The first time I explored a little bit more. I went
right.
around Maine, took a lot of photos and things like that. So whatever
Yes.
you want to do, it's there for you. But for sure, you'll never forget it, and you're going to bond with the other artists. We always have.
Oh,
So,
we always
and
have.
we just talked about Marty. That's not how you met Marty, but
No, but she's an alumni of
yeah, yeah,
Golden Apple Residency,
yeah.
that's for sure. Yes. Well, Shelley, good job out there. And folks, go to goldenapplestudio.com or email her direct at snstevens at goldenapplestudio.com. Now we'll go on with another one of my picks, and it is Maggie Clifford Banstra, and it is called Cherry Blossoms. Maggie and I were actually a couple of times in the same venue when there was a venue at City Water Building with Richard App. He was the curator down there. So I do have a history with Maggie in that regard. Plus, she runs the fall retreats at Oxbow where I met Rob Vanderzeen. So, it's connections. ArtPrize is a lot about networking. It's a lot about meeting people, staying friends, recognizing their work. It's community is a huge element in being an artist, for me anyway. Um, and I think for you too, Armin. I'm probably little more that way than you are, right?
A little bit.
Yeah, but I really, really value as connections. And let's get back to her painting, though. This is a beautiful, uplifting painting. And if I've got this right, these are paintings that she started this summer when she took off for New York for her own independent residency. I'm pretty sure her studio is in the midst of Brooklyn. And I was so impressed that she just packed up, went to New York for the summer, and worked on these beautiful floral paintings. And there's several of them. She has multiple pieces at DeVos Place again, where there's room to spread out. So you've got to check her out with her multiple florals. And they're florals that they're they're based in realism, but they're abstracted realism. Wouldn't
They
you say
are.
that?
They're even the black lines through that
Yes.
it gives a nod to abstract composition, yet you don't lose the floridity, would that be the floral
The,
side of
f-
that?
the floral side of that.
You know?
Yes.
And I like the bits of blues coming through as negative
The
space
negative
the
space is
top and the
beautiful.
bottom. And it's luscious. It's almost like you want to taste it.
Yeah, it really is. You want to taste it, you want to touch it,
Hmm.
and so much going on compositionally with the diagonals of the black lines, the repetition, the tonal values, and then of course that beautiful negative space, which is rendered in a almost a deep cerulean blue. It just pops. It's
It's
gorgeous.
it's really great.
Yeah. And Armin, this
Uh,
is a surprise.
well, it's called The Gift. It's by
Uh-huh.
Martin Kinder Nevin
Niven, yes,
at the Heritage Hill campus,
of the Cornerstone Church,
the Cornerstone Church. Okay, I got that
called The
right.
Gift.
Yeah. Well, this is an abstract piece, And
Totally abstract.
one thing you don't see too often at ArtPrize is abstractions. Wouldn't you agree?
There's not as many abstractions,
No.
and this is
No.
totally non-representational, very swirling, very action.
But
I love
the
it.
the choosing of marks and the composition, this black and gray, and then all of a sudden you have this deep woods green in there with a little bit of yellow sprinkling through. It's a whirlwind of movement within this piece.
It
Uh,
really is.
and every mark feels like it just came from nothing, but every mark also feels like it's exactly placed.
Hmm.
So it has and you know, when I look abstraction, I don't try to find things in abstractions. I'm kind of beyond that. So for me, it just feels a great way. It reminds me a little bit of the sea or the wood,
Hmm.
but those are just, the colors remind me of that. But I think the composition is awesome on this place. And just you feel the artist's brushstroke on there.
Yes, you do. And
Uh,
there's a lot of folding in it, and there's a lot of depth because it's like a brush stroke that folds under another brush stroke. And then there's a splash. The spontaneity is just beautiful.
it is.
Yeah, this is a wonderful non-representational piece. So it's mainly neutral with just a teal color and a little bit of gold.
Yeah.
So there's not a ton of colors, but boy, is it effective.
But those colors that are there just kind of
Yes,
shine. Yeah.
they do. They're beautiful. Well, let's go to the next. This is called Coffee, Courage, and Conversations. It's by Kim Kleinhardt. It's at the Monroe Community Church. And her message with her work, and this is one of the pieces in that display. There's several other pieces, but Coffee, Courage, and Conversations speaks to these times, these days, where if we can just talk to each other, if we can have the courage to have the difficult conversations or the courage to just try to understand other people. It's very important. The shutting down of folks right now and not being able to communicate with each other is a huge challenge. So she is spreading the message of just trying to start a conversation.
Yeah.
It's a good
Well, in a
message.
way, it's kind of stop yelling and start talking.
Yes.
And I think we all have to kind of, now I'm getting on this social message that I see in here. There might not be one, but I see it as that. Uh, Kim is an amazing painter,
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
and I'm not sure if this has some collage in it, if it's all
It does
pictures.
have collage,
Does
current
it have collage?
current newspapers and magazines.
Okay. So it's just this beautifully designed piece, and one woman is kind of in thought, and the other one
Mhm.
is looking at something directly. So it has this kind of motion that goes off the side of the canvas and one coming towards you. And I love that ceiling, that negative space, all done just in line.
Mhm.
This,
And if you examine the wording on the sweater, I believe that says "We the People" on one of the woman who's staring off. Um, on her
yes, it
sweater.
does.
Does it
Yes.
say that? I'm kind of getting
Mm-hmm.
that "we the people" and some
Mm-hmm.
other, key words. But you could look at this in the way of that woman being the mother of the younger woman there. And those are difficult conversations. Not families are being torn apart. And so that conversation might be going on right here. She sets you up to just imagine, opening a door with a simple word.
Yeah. And what she's not putting in is just as important as what she is putting in.
Yes. Yes, it really
And
is.
sometimes you choose a piece because of the knowledge of how it's painted, and this has that particular element to it. It's
Mhm.
not like realistic in the sense of somebody painting somebody. It's this kind of assemblage of shapes that make
Yeah,
realistic things going on in here.
that's right. It builds
So
a
it's a
figure.
real well thought out piece.
It sure is. All right. This is a fun piece, Arvin.
Yeah, this is Animal Collective by Luba Elizabeth at the Amway Grand Hotel. And I was able to see each panel separately on her page.
Uh-huh.
Now these are, and she actually has numbered what all these animals are on that page. There's an elephant, there's a rhinoceros, there's just all different animals on these, and they're done flatly.
Yes,
They
they
are
are.
done perfectly flat, and it's like a puzzle almost.
It is.
But it's very sophisticated in my eyes.
Hmm.
It's you almost think Animal Collective, you'd it oh and on, all this kind of stuff. It doesn't. It brings to me the uniqueness of nature, where
Hmm.
it would be great where every animal could live together, you know.
Right.
And it's just the respect she shows for for nature and
Hmm.
animals really shines in this particular piece.
It's such a contemporary piece too. It is. It's almost like a jigsaw puzzle of very organic shapes where they fit like a glove next to each other, almost as if someone, like a child's puzzle of big pieces, and they just mold together.
There's no space in these pieces that is not some kind of an animal.
Right. There really isn't.
Mm-mm.
Even the negative space becomes
Oh
little
yeah, the negative
animals.
space becomes an animal.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Everything is an animal here, and everything is a unique animal.
And the colors are kind of a rusty red, a uh, kind of a steely blue and a powder blue and an orange. It's a very complementary color scheme going on here. Some whites and blacks. It's
I
very
think
contemporary.
I think she really controlled the chroma here,
Yes, she
where
did.
I think it could have gone overboard.
Mm-hmm.
She just had the right understanding of color to make this beautiful piece. It's
Yes, you're right. It didn't get too saturated, which would have taken it
right. Then all of a sudden you see
too
color,
far.
and oh,
Yeah,
I love the color here. But there's
right.
a lot of color. Don't get me wrong. Those of you who are listening, there's a lot of color on this piece, but it's just kept down just a little bit.
It is, and they're harmonious. They just read well together. They're not clashing at all. So
It's wonderful. Yeah.
it is. Here's a piece that I picked out called Particles. Nicole Christic at Biophilia Gallery in ArtPrize. And, it has similar colors to that last piece I was talking about. These are very, not muted colors, but almost a deep, dark teal, gold, and creamy colors. So if I were to describe this, I would describe this as a log that barnacles had crusted all over.
Right.
Would that be a good description?
I think so.
Very, very like particles. She's calling it particles. I'm thinking barnacles.
Hmm.
And here's what she did here, and this what's caught my eye. She has taken, oh my gosh, did I list it? She took like four shirts, a Halloween costume, some sweaters, and she tears these, cuts these up, completely pulls them apart, mashes. I'm this description is crazy. Mashes glue into those tiny fibers that she's finally pulverized out of this used clothing. And that's part of it, using up things that we would throw away in the landfill. And with the glue becomes the binder, and with a little bit of something, and I can't remember what it is, but you chemists would know what it is, and maybe even you clay artists would know. It makes it less sticky, and it is a form at that point of clay. And she molds each one of these little barnacles out of that fiber substance. Isn't that crazy?
Well, what I think about that is there's what it appears to be, and all the things that it's made of are two different things here. What it appears to be is beautiful in its design and its color,
Yes,
and but then it's so fascinating
the
what
process.
the process. You know, a lot of times art is just as much about process as it is
Yeah.
about the final image. And I know a lot of artists that work that way. And here, one again, it's these kind of, oh, it's hard to explain. These barnacles, as you said, are a moonscape in some places,
Moonscape-ish. Yes.
and at the same time, kind of floral. It's amazing what this is made of.
It's beautiful. She describes it as fiber waste turned into moldable clay.
Yeah.
And she worked on it for years to come up with this process.
Well, she's.
And I love
How, do
that
you know how
idea.
large these are, Belle?
No, I'm not sure why the measurements aren't on there, but on any of the entries.
Yeah.
But you know what? You can get scale because most of these people are on Instagram and on the website, there's multiple photos. So to me, it looks like it's probably about
There's if you're on
36 inches or so.
Facebook, there's a site called the Art of ArtPrize, and it shows hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people that took photos of the artists. It's
Yeah,
interesting
yeah.
stuff.
That is a fun site to go to, as well as the ArtPrize Facebook too is great. Okay, now your turn again, Armin. Back and forth.
Animalia. This is,
Animalia.
this is by Sharon Burke and Dent,
Hmm.
who I think has 17 of these incredibly drawn, very realistic, yet very magical drawings. It seems like it has one of metamorphosis or
Yes,
symbolism. In each one of these, you see a person and you see their spirit animal. That's how I read it.
that's right.
And it's hard to get past her incredible skill as a draughtsman. But once you look at this, it has so much going on, such life and passion and caring about spirituality. And there's 17 of those folks, so I'm seeing one right here. Uh,
There's only one right here. And
but
if you
I've
saw the
seen
whole
a few of these.
installation, oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
it's
it
impressive.
must be a couple years worth of work that she's got there.
And each one has almost a dissolving nature, right? Where
Yeah,
the image of the figure and the animal meld back
they
and forth.
meld into each other.
Yes.
The horn of this animal disappears around her face.
Uh,
He comes back in the clouds again, and I've been lucky enough to see a few of these in person.
yeah,
And a
yeah.
photo doesn't really do it justice. And I think all people who work in pencil understand that. It's hard to
It's hard to
reproduce it.
photograph, but this is a
But
pretty
that's
good
probably happens
photograph.
with all the art.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Great job, great job. And just the hanging system she came up with is worth looking at
Yeah, I
too.
saw one where her husband was
Yeah.
kind of dangling off the ceiling.
Yes, that's right. What we do for love, right?
I guess so.
So here is a different selection that I pulled out here. It's a long title, Manufactured Memory, Ornament, Manufacturing, and the Architecture of Touch. Now, this is a collaboration design. It's in Shinola Showroom in Grand Rapids by Austin Mitchell and Will Wang, and they're part of Volt Lab. They are two architects, and these particular ornaments, or you could call them door handles, drawer pulls. They're hardware that you would use in home or business. They were printed on a 3D printer and it opened up this whole deal. And I'm going to look at my notes here because it's very fascinating to think of a 3D printer and what it can do. But they're using it to explore different ways to make hardware that can pull up nostalgia with it, pull up history, and also can be customized. So with this idea of being all tech, you could customize it for certain door handles, certain measurements. It opens up a whole lot of design for architects and interior designers. And they used a term that I'd like to explore more, and that is the term industrial memory. And I don't even know what that means. I want to know more about it. For me, it would mean industrial memory, bringing back past pieces, but making them function in today's world. I love that
Hmm.
idea. And what better place to be than in Shinola? I mean, it's a
Oh yeah, it's
great
great.
fit,
Yeah.
great fit. So yeah, I'd like people to go in and take a look at that and maybe grab a watch at the same time.
There you go. And I like the organic and geometric sides of these.
Oh, they're
The real
gorgeous.
melding of those two worlds, which in
Yes,
a lot of good art it is. And they're fascinating in their own right, although you can use them for something, they have a different use.
that's right. They're functional and they're gorgeous at the same time.
Hmm.
Absolutely beautiful.
Fascinating.
Jewelry like, really.
Yes.
So I enjoyed that very much. Okay, this is beautiful.
This is called The Gatekeeper by Brenda Gerard.
Giral.
That's how I would produce it. I think this piece is rather large, if I'm not mistaken.
Mhm.
I think it, yeah, I don't know exactly how it is, but I've seen this piece on different people who went there.
Mm.
Wow, it's a person right after my own heart here. I mean, it's a tree and it's detail. How can I pass this by?
It's a vertical tree with the perspective as if you were laying under the tree looking up.
Mhm.
It's that beautiful, like, what would that be? A 3 point perspective going on. It's, wouldn't that be a 3 point?
N Not
Because
really.
it's
It's really a
vanishing into the,
1 point perspective going up.
oh, I don't know. I
You'd
think
have to
it keeps
see
going.
you have to see beyond that so it starts going down to see that. So it
Right.
goes smaller up and smaller down. But it does rely a lot on perspective, whatever.
Hmm.
It also relies a lot on cool tones to the bottom and warm tones to the top, probably where the sun is going. And a
Hmm.
beautiful drawing of branches and then the blue behind it. It's a beautiful work, and I love the scale of it, and I like the dimension of it being thin and wide like that.
The tall
So,
vertical.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Sometimes, and I've gotten that in the past, where people think that landscapes should be long and not high, and most of my landscapes are vertical.
Vertical. Yeah. This is showing at Periwinkle Fog. And I love, you mentioned how it gets warmer toward the top. It just is like sunlight just bathed it at the top. I love that part.
Yeah, and it's hard to see all. There's so much going on in this piece and they don't do a good job explaining how it's done or what it's made of.
Well, we'll have to go down there and take a look at that when we get down.
I'll be in Paris.
Oh, okay. This is called White Cluster. It's by Helen Danley, and it's at the Art of Life Studio and Now Gallery. So for the audience out there who is listening, this has the feel of a little bit of scallops all blended together, or a honeycomb effect. Would honeycomb be fair, Armin?
Yeah, that's really what it's
It's an in
honeycomb. It's also
honey.
kind of floral in a way.
It's a very floral. It's an encaustic piece, a three-dimensional caustic piece made out of wax. So it's very translucent, ivory color where you can see through in parts.
Hmm.
Very fragile and very, very organic. And Helen Danley in Chicago has been working in encaustic for quite a while, and I've seen these three-dimensional pieces at different shows. She likes to think that they're based on ocean creatures and that sort of thing, and I can see that too. Uh, Very contemporary and very, very simple at the same time.
Yeah.
It's just an elegant piece on its own, white cluster. And I highly recommend taking a trip over
It's,
there and
it's
seeing that at Art
I
and
would
Life Studio.
imagine it's very tactile and
Very
it seems
warm.
very fragile,
Yes,
the
yes,
fragility of this.
that's right.
Yeah. It's a beautiful piece.
One of my top picks. And here you go with your next pick. Cranes
This
in Bloom.
Cranes in Bloom by Von Ether. It's at the Gerald Ford Art Museum, and it's origami, the little cranes that people make, I think.
Yes, the origami. Yes.
But this is different than what I've seen before. I don't, there's at least 1,000 because I read his statement, but there's probably
Uh-huh.
more than that. And it's not just that he did 1,000 of them, which would be fine, but the way they're arranged on the wall, he's actually painting with them,
Uh-huh.
creating
Yes.
this wonderful form and composition with these tiny little origami cranes.
Yes.
I think that's what they are.
They are cranes.
Yeah, and I saw more photos than we're presenting here, but oh boy, that's something I think you'd have to see in person to really get it.
Mhm.
It's just so beautiful. Even if it wasn't, even if there were 45 of these guys, it's not so much about that great amount, the number, which is interesting. But as it's designed on the wall and as they go back and forward and create a spiral and movement within these pieces,
Mhm.
some of them are red and some of them are almost in a greenish tone, and there's white ones, and uh, or that may just be the lighting, I don't know, but it looks magnificent.
It does. There's deep dark brown ones, deep black ones that form negative space. It kind of reminds me in a strange way of a uh, overhead view of a harbor. You know,
Sure.
it just feels like lots and lots of the wing shapes become boat shapes at that point.
Hmm.
A very crowded harbor, but it's beautiful.
And it certainly is.
This is my next one, Iridescence 3013. It's at the Bob, and it's by D. Stewart Sabalda. And it is very textural. This is totally non-representational. It is a photograph, but there is so much dimension to this photograph. And what really struck me about this, it is titled Iridescence, but it has what I would call a color that is an interference color, which are colors that would remind you of butterfly wings or mud slicks. You've seen that kind of oily
Yeah.
on the beach and it gets that iridescence.
Yeah.
So actually, there are colors that you can buy and paint with that are called interference colors. This is part of my golden background coming out right now. But
Mhm.
that's what struck me about this. And in his statement, he mentioned that he did notice the iridescence and he just hoped that there were pigments really like that. And it wasn't just in his imagination or just an illusion with the photograph. Yes, D. Stewart, they are out there. You can buy paints that will give you that effect. And it's a beautiful color motion that you'll get with that.
Well,
So,
and no matter what is a painting or a photograph, I mean,
yeah,
it's all art. And I just think this is a great abstraction. It reminds me of, rock and things like that.
yes,
But those colors are so intense, so beautiful. Interesting that he has 3013 behind it, iridescence 3013.
yes. I'm not sure what that symbology means, but it'd be fun to talk to him about that. But it looks like if I could touch this, it would be very rough and gritty. And
That's like volcanic rock. It's
yes,
that type of thing.
exactly. Exactly.
Where there's sharp edges to it, and
Caught my eye. Okay, this is a shift in mood that we're going to hear for
it's
the next
called
one.
Idols Made.
Mm-hmm.
It's by David Youngman. It's at the Gerald R. Ford Presidential Museum, and it's a painting of I don't know how many,
One, two,
seven,
three,
eight
four, five, six, seven, eight
young
people,
people,
eight young
young
people.
people, and they're in a big group amongst themselves, and they're all looking at an iPhone.
They all have their own iPhones. They're all looking at their
They're not
smartphones.
communicating together. They're doing
No.
selfies and they're on their iPhones. Well, that's of course in a narrative for or against or indifferently to what people are doing these days. And it's done in an almost
Old masters feel
old
to me.
master style of painting, beautiful skin tone,
Ombers.
beautiful like you get close to the front, the girl in the front. and she's wearing a white shirt. Everybody else is wearing darker shirts.
Uh-huh.
One is wearing red, one is wearing blue, and then it goes into the background right there. So,
Yeah, the raw umbers, sepia tones, ivory tones. There's nothing bright about this. The only brightness is almost a spotlight on the young woman right in the foreground. And that starts to feel a little Vermeer to me, right
yeah,
through that area.
it does, yeah.
Very classical,
Uh-huh.
but telling a
And
contemporary story.
it's contemporary story. It's not one of those, I'm where I'm at my age. Are you catching your iPhones? I'm on my iPhone just as much as they are, but
Well, I know we are.
so it's just a reality of life. I've
Yes,
seen people sitting at tables texting each other. So,
that's right.
it's a crazy world,
It's
good, bad, and
definite,
different.
definite
But I
message.
thought I thought this was a very powerful piece.
Yes, it is. This next one is called Matanai, and I'm probably mispronouncing that because it is a Japanese word. And she was describing the word as being of regret. The word is regret for being wasteful. In other words, be resourceful, use what you have. Don't always buy new, use it up. That's an excellent message again. So this is an environmental message and a personal message to just use what you have. You don't always need to have brand new things. So as she's working on this, it's all from older passages of handmade papers. She's working in encaustic. She's saving her monoprints that she has done with wax. And there's some chopsticks in here. It's all using material that she already had in her studio. Christine Towner is the artist. And as I read her background, I saw that we both studied with the same encaustic artist, Paula Rowland. We weren't there at the same time, but this was out in Santa Fe. And that, of course, when I talk about how do we choose the artists, this is in life. It's your connections again, or you may see somebody's name on a CV that you recognize. You instantly feel a rapport with that person in most cases. Don't you agree, Armin?
I do. It's an abstract piece, but
Yes.
there's all kinds of symbolism within that too. There's numerology, there's things that line up, things that don't line up. Keeps
Yes.
your mind busy as you're looking through this particular piece. And it's very mysterious as well.
Uh-huh. It sure
So,
is.
it's wonderful.
Yeah, it's just fun to think about all the connections we artists have.
Yeah.
This is your pick right here.
Yes, it is. I mistook the way. It's by Bruce
Beckley.
McClay. McClay?
Beckley?
McClay?
Mhm.
Now, years ago, and Bruce, it might not be you, but I think it is. We were both showing at the Bob, and I met him, and he was actually working on these pieces. They're amazing pieces, and they're made with screws. And how far the screws come out or go back creates a shadow. In this case, it's a portrait. And then he's using different kinds of heads, even to make certain shadows in them. They
Mm-hmm.
really glow. They're fun. I hate to use the word fun, Bruce, but they are very fun. And I just like the process. Um,
They're very intriguing, and you wonder when you see them from a distance, what the heck are those made out of? And then you get up there and you go, oh my God, they look like brass screws and drywall screws
Well,
and all these different
and
things.
he's screwing them in
Yes,
not just as a pattern, but as a depth.
right.
So the things in the front, they're screwed in a little bit. And I don't know exactly how it's done, but this is why I'm assuming. But uh, and then those different kinds of headed screws on there, I think.
Yes,
Go
creates
into
pattern.
they create a different kind of world. And I love
Hmm.
the gold and rusty and shiny flavor of it. That might just be the lighting, but yeah, this is a really interesting, wonderful, and playful piece. I
And
like
the
it.
and the ultimate result of that is we're looking at uh, a portrait, basically, a
Yeah.
face, a beautiful face.
Hmm.
out of all of that. It's not an abstraction, it's actually
No,
a
it's not
base.
abstraction. It's like a bust, a carving, but
Yeah.
from screws.
All right. And I have to give a shout out to myself because I have an entry in our prize and it's called Blue Dove. And it is a mixed media piece using tissues and paints and collage. It's kind of a swirly, non-representational abstraction. And I have it hanging at the Water Center, which is home of the Homewood Suites. It's in there. It's on a beautiful navy blue wall. Here I'm showing it in a different setting, but it's on a navy blue wall, which fits in really well. I'm so happy to be there. But that was my entry this
Well,
year.
the movement in this are so direct between organic and almost like montage. I don't know if you're doing montage with these or not. Some you do a
Montage.
lot collage.
I'm doing collage. This is all tissue paper collage
Okay.
with iridescent paints and my beautiful pyro red that I love so much. And the Blue Dove series is based on wing shapes and flight shapes. So this
Hmm.
particular one is more propeller-like. It's more
Yeah.
swirling, almost helicopter style.
What's the size of this one?
And these are 36 by 36. There's three of them in the series, but I have
Yeah.
just one hanging down there.
It's a
So,
great series, and this piece is out of the three has always been my favorite. I
oh, that's
really,
nice to know.
really like this.
And that's funny because this third one was the last one I did. And how it came about, I was working on the other two, which were semi-controlled. And then I put the third canvas on the paint wall, and that became my more intuitive, more where I would take a shape and go, oh, just put it up and see where it goes. This was definitely of the three, the most intuitive. So I'm happy that you like it the best.
Yeah, I mean those red marks and this feeling of flight,
Yeah, yeah,
and it is abstract. And then, again, it's very organic, but it also has some geometry to it.
sure.
So
Thank you.
it's a great piece. And again, when I've seen him in person, like this one,
Uh-huh.
you got to see him in person.
Yeah, yeah. Well, all of this art, all of this art. And then we come to Armin's collaboration, The Art of Democracy. Tell us about this, Armin.
Well, I'm part of a group called the Art of Democracy, and there's I think 19 or 20 of us in this that are showing together. And we all have a different take on the art of democracy. And the two pieces I'm showing are iconography. One is called American Zealot, and the other one is called Woke Up. It's supposed to be Woke Up Drowning, not Dreaming.
Oh, put that on me, folks.
Okay, so
I'll,
it's called Woke Up Drowning, and
I really blew it there, didn't I?
that's no big deal.
It's kind of nice though, but she's
Yeah,
definitely not dreaming, is
she's
she?
not dreaming. It's a little.
Okay.
It's odd, these pieces. They're not, I wouldn't say enjoyable to look at. They're very foreboding,
Yes, they are.
aggressive, and I go back to World War II with my parents and grandparents, and I have certain feelings on it. The German expressionists expressed themselves. Kate Goldwitz, did the same thing. And I, as an artist, want to express myself both in good and fun and beautiful things and things that worry me. And we have a lot about that. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that has to be part of the art making process. Not everybody's up to that kind of thing. Well, these pieces at the Art of Democracy show at Fountain Street Church, that's all they have is this group of people, and every one of them has a different take on what the art of democracy could mean. Uh,
Yeah, I was impressed at the opening of this exhibit with the 20 artists and everybody having a different take, anything from very gentle to very harsh to everything in between. And it really was an impressive combination of art and something for everyone, let's put it that way. And just, I was very impressed. And it's all in their very professional gallery setting. It's well lit, it's easy to get to. So check it out. Check it out if you're in Grand Rapids for sure. But that's the end of our presentation on
Yeah.
ArtPrize 2025. It goes on until October 4th, 2025. Not much longer, so you don't have a
Uh,
lot of time to get there.
And
Now we're back with us here.
I urge
Oh,
you guys to go to it if you're within distance of going to it. It's a lot of fun. Got lots of beer places too.
great
Yeah.
restaurants, great hotels. It's a great city.
And the more you drink, the better the art gets. It's weird.
Very, very good. Okay, Armin.
Thank you guys.
And thanks for listening, everyone. I hope this made sense to all of our people listening on the radio, but you know where to find the information. And this was fun.
Okay.
Okay, talk to you later.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.